Mr. Case is recognized to address the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise in very strong support of the ranking member's amendment. What a simple, uncontroversial bill this, of all of our 12 bills, should be. This should be a measure in which the leading institution in our country, if not our world, embraces our responsibility and gives ourselves, not somebody else, ourselves, all of the tools possible to assert our constitutional duty. And by doing so, we would exert and expend minuscule even funding compared to our federal government overall, and really compared to the weight and value of our obligations. To spend this kind of money to fulfill our constitutional obligations, that should be a no-brainer. This bill should be about a proud, responsible, effective institution such as this that cannot exist solely on paper. We all know that we cannot do this job just with what's in our head. We need help. We need expertise. We need ability. But we have to have the full range of tools to do our job. And it's a critical job for our country, for us to fully assert ourselves as a separate and independent branch of government with full and competent and authoritative, credible oversight of the executive branch and elsewhere. But unfortunately, assuredly, that is not what this bill is. And so let's talk about the Government Accountability Office, one of our most important agencies within Congress. Founded in 1921, over 100 years old today, not today, but a century old, formed after World War I because we were concerned about controlling government expenditures and debt in the wake of World War I. Does that sound familiar? Are we not worried about government expenditures and debt today? And of course, in the 70s, the Congressional Impoundment Act, when we asked the GAO, oh my goodness, we asked the GAO to actually study whether the executive branch was not spending the money that we appropriated. What a crime we committed then by asking the GAO, our own body, to help us and to give it the tools possible to enforce our authority of the purse. That's what we did, and that's what the GAO's been doing for over 100 years. You know, the GAO, as one example of what it does, is it publishes, and has for many years now, a high-risk series. These are areas and issues within our government that the GAO considers to be high risk on a nonpartisan basis. This is not partisanship. And currently the GAO has 38 high-risk areas that it wants us to focus on and that it has the ability to focus on with expertise and with resources. Let's take a look at some of these high-risk areas. At the highest level of their high-risk areas are reducing billions in significant improper payments and fraud. Oh, I hear a lot about fraud and improper payments. So we can all talk about it, but you don't want, or at least some people don't want, our own Congress to be able to enter into what we are going to do about that. I shouldn't even talk about this one, closing large gaps in revenue owed to the government. That used to be something that we were all concerned about. But we know from the actions of the majority on the IRS that they're actually not concerned about that. So let me skip over that one. Let's talk about better controlling cost growth and schedule delays in high dollar value procurements. The DoD Appropriations bill, which takes up half of our budget, is very much concerned about this now, but we're not going to give the GAO the ability to be able to look at this for us. Right-sizing the government's property holdings could generate substantial savings. I hear all the time from the majority about how the federal government owns too much land and how we should sell some of it off. Well, the GAO wants to take a look at it, but you don't want to fund them to do that. Achieving greater financial management discipline at DoD. I think we all care about that. But we don't want the GAO to help us out with that at all. So you get the point. There's 35 other examples of this on the 38 list, but we don't want the GAO to help us with those. You know, at the end of the day, what a petty, defensive, obsequious, weak, and destructive action it is to gut the GAO, to throw a fit over our ability to question the President of the United States about whether he is correctly exerting his authority to spend money already appropriated. I urge that we reverse this action along the way. This is not the way Congress should be acting. I yield back.